And hello, everyone. Welcome back to our second day of school. It's Mr. Callan here to help you through the activities for today, Thursday, August 17th, 2023. Hey, hopefully you've already done number one, completing the bell work. Right now we are on number two, watching procedures video. And then when this is finished, you'll go on to number three, watching the video about today's lesson before starting the assignment and completing an exit ticket. Let us commence with stuff about today. Now, again, this is what you should have started with. Done a bell work on this. Remember that there could be multiple answers, but you're asked to pick one that you believe does not belong and explain your reasoning, and your answer can be different than the person's next to you, in front of you, behind you, and that's okay. Make sure you have a justification for it. If you have completed that and you wanted a challenge, you could go ahead and stop writing on your bell work paper after you've gotten your explanation, but then try and look again and see if there's a different card that you can pick out. And just if you want, you can explain it to your partner. Otherwise, we'll talk more about it when I return. Quick review of yesterday's procedures, and it was a little different and a little rushed being the first day of school. But we talked about bell work every day you come in. Have a seat and get to work before the bell rings. When that bell rings, I'll be expecting you to be in your seat working, not talking with the person next to you, not asking questions on homework. We will get to that. Take care of business right at the beginning of the period, by doing your bell work. Paper heading. Not sure if we got time for this yesterday or not, but don't forget first and last name, full last name, date, and period, whatever that period and date might be. You met me, I met you. We learned a little bit about each other. Then for number four, we talked about the usual daily schedule, which is going to be up on the whiteboard in the classroom. I'll also be including that schedule every day. More of the responsibilities for the day on our online agenda. More on that later. And materials for class. Now, perhaps we ran out of time, perhaps we didn't. One way or the other, let's just review. 5 things you need for this math class. Pencils, plural, always have backup in mind. A folder or binder, totally your call. You definitely need a notebook for this class and a textbook, which I hopefully gave you yesterday. Last but not least, that should not say Chromebook. How about we say iPad instead? Chromebook was previous years. And I would recommend some of you, if you struggle with completing tasks, I know that Canvas has an online almost to-do list kind of thing. But if you ever struggle with organization, buy yourself a cheap $5 planner at your local store. And that could help you get organized and make sure you're taking care of all your responsibilities. Now let's proceed into what fairness means both in this class and in the world. And to start with, you might have seen or perhaps recognized the picture on the left. There is a difference, ladies and gents, between equal and fair. In fact, I kind of made it mathematical. Fair is not equal, is not the same as equality. And let's just talk about this image. So, 3 kids want to watch a baseball game. There's a fence in the way. And so you treat each one equally by giving them the same sized crate to stand on. Now, while that is true that it's equal, I would hardly call that fair. 2 of the kids can see, 1 of the kids can't. However, the right image shows a little about what fairness means. 1 kid is given no box, but he can see the baseball game. Another kid is given 1 crate, another kid's given 2. And the point is, now they're all aided along their ultimate goal, which in that case was to see baseball. Now, let's talk what that might mean in math class. All right, let's say 2 students show up without their homework. 1 student, Mr. Connell, I'm sorry, I had football yesterday. I couldn't get my homework done. We'll call that student A. Student B, Mr. Connell, I didn't finish my homework. I was up all night. My grandfather had a heart attack, so we were at the hospital all night. Now, equality could mean, okay, you both need to get your homework done. You're both going to be counted as late credit, but I'm not sure I would call that fair. Fairness in my mind, or in this classroom as that example states, both students need to make up their work. All right, don't worry about it. You got to get caught up. Let's get the homework done tonight. Also get the next assignment done by tomorrow. You should be all caught up. But the first student is going to be counted as a late assignment. because I know the football coaches, I know all the coaches, I know anybody involved in sports is going to say a student athlete puts the student first, and you should have done your homework. Meanwhile, the person that had no control over their hospital visit, a family's major health incident, I don't think that's quite fair to count that as a late assignment. The communication was important for both, right? So I'm not going to disrespect either student. In fact, I'm still going to care about both students and push them to catch up. But fairness is not the same as equality. Now, I feel like you guys know this by seventh grade, but if you ever wonder, if Mr. Callan ever does something, and I'm going to be the first to admit I'm not perfect, but it's okay at the proper time, in the proper setting, in the proper manner to say, "Hey, Mr. Count, can you explain why you did this? I mean, we both had missing assignments, but mine was late and this other person's wasn't." Or at oftentimes, Mr. Callan, both my classmate and I were talking at the same time, but I just noticed that you called me out on that and you didn't call the other. Can you tell me why? Notice they both were asking questions. They both had a calm manner. The point is, I'm willing to talk about anything as long as we can come together and discuss what's best for you and other people in the classroom. So, fair is not the same as being equal. All right, now let's say you do finish all your math responsibilities in class with some extra time, 5, 10 minutes. I'll be honest, it's not going to happen often, ladies and gents, but let's just say hypothetically you do. Are you going to sit there and waste time? Are you going to talk to the person next to you and waste their time? No. You got one thing and one thing that you're going to do. And perhaps some of you noticed the little faded background I put on this slide. You're going to be working on IXL, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to be doing that often in homeroom class this year, working to improve your goals, improve on your weaknesses, and you might do that in this class as well. I just want you to know that every second of this class counts. And while I am a huge reader, you probably learned that about me yesterday. And usually I would say, yeah, reading is going to improve you as a person. Well, that's true, but we're in this class for 46, 47 minutes to improve yourself as a mathematical student and a person. So if you were to finish any and all math responsibilities early, you'd be getting your iPad out and getting onto IXL. We'll guide you through that as time goes on. All right. Now you're going to find this out very quickly. I love questions. I love questions. I adore questions. But I'm wondering if you know the answer to this. Who should you ask first? Take a moment, think about it. Now, perhaps, again, you see the faded picture in the background here, but honestly, the ideal person to talk to first would be the person next to you, your partner. And if somebody's absent or if you don't have somebody naturally sitting next to you, then you can talk to the person in front or behind you. But here's the deal. I am not about to be here to waste your time. Your time is valuable. No amount of money can buy back your time. And I don't want someone to have their hand up for 3 minutes while Mr. Count is across the room working with somebody else. That's a waste of 3 minutes. So, the ideal way for you to get a question answered is firstly, talk to the person next to you. If both you and the person next to you are struggling, then secondly, talk to the people either in front of or behind you in your group, not across the room. Don't walk up and talk to your best buddy 10 feet away. First, talk to the person next to you, then the people in your group. If 3 or 4 people in a group don't know the answer to that question, you bet I want to help. You heard me. I adore questions. So then, most definitely get that hand up. I just want to be very clear that A, your time is valuable, and B, you shouldn't waste your time, nor should you waste somebody else's time. Talk to the person next to you, people in front or behind you, and then grab that teacher and see how he can help you. Now, ideally, you're in the right place already, but I just want to review. Anytime you need anything, you can go to your Canvas page. Let me see if I can get to that here. Perhaps on your dashboard, you can see Pre-Algebra 7 Semester 1. If I were to click on that, the main resource, ladies and gents, I very seldom put assignments on Canvas. I know other classes are entirely on Canvas, but really your main resource is right here where it says Online Agenda. That's why I put it right there on the left. And you're probably already been here because after all, you found this video, right? So just to remind you, whether you're absent or in class, all the responsibilities, usually it's just going to say assignment number 1, assignment number 2, assignment number 3. But I want to be very clear on days when I'm absent. So I put it just number by number, check it off, check it off, check it off. Okay, I'm good to go for the next day. And perhaps you can see what's coming tomorrow as well. In fact, I try to put 1 week at a time. Usually I don't have the video here. The video can be found on the right. And since that's next, I will invite you in a moment to click where it says watch video, or you can click over here. It's going to be the same video. I'm going to press pause and watching videos for this class. Number one, nice part about learning from videos is you can fast forward, you can pause, you can watch this happen, pause, you can rewind. You can say, look, I already know these examples. I'm just going to do them real quick, and then I'm going to check if my answers are the same, and then you go forward and you check your answers. You can say, I got this. I'm going to go 2 minutes down the road. And this is what I really like. It's funny enough to listen to Mr. Callan on a video, but you could also click playback speed, slow it down, or more importantly, I think speed it up. I often go with videos 1.5 speed. So, and again, if it's going too fast for me, I just pause and I rewind, and then I can always change it back to normal speed and just listen to it like Mr. Callan's normally talking. But that's the beautiful part about videos. Rewind, fast forward, skip parts, change playback speed. All right, folks, go ahead, add it. Either click here on number 3 or click here on video for lesson 1, 1 and 1, 2, and I will catch you in a couple days. See you, folks.